Today I wanted to make a quick video giving you just an example of a success story, as well as give some tips and advice for someone who already is seeing a lot of success with their campaign. What can you do from here, basically? So first of all, I got this email about a week ago where this person had written to me and they had purchased the Audible version of my book, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses. They designed the campaign themselves for GoFundMe. You can see a little bit of their message there, but basically they did everything and they launched it. They shared it on Facebook. Within an hour of going live, they had 600 donations. So they upped the goal to 2,000. Within a few hours, donations are up to 1,100. Upped it to 4,000 and stopped there. 2.5 days later, they have 5,724 in GoFundMe and $200 donation through PayPal, so almost $6,000. And then at the time I'm recording this video for the YouTube channel, it is $7,539. So this is pretty impressive, and this is really something where it's just by adding a few little things to your campaign can make a massive difference, as well as doing the right stuff in the right order. So number one, if you're interested in that Audible book, that's available via Audible, Crowdfunding Personal Expenses. I can link that up in the description. In addition, they're also now doing things like letters to friends and families and clients and colleagues, right? So this is really good, and it's also something that I include in the the GoFundMe cash machine. The GoFundMe cash machine, I include templates when it comes to email outreach and really how do you reach out to your friends and family? How do you make it so that people who are reading this feel a little bit more personalized and like why it is that you're doing this. This is really awesome that he is going out there and outreaching and doing this kind of stuff. If you want to basically find out how to write this, or you want a template for this yourself, as well as some other outreach you can do, I have those in the GoFundMe cash machine, which is a paid course. So I got a coaching call there in a sec, which is a paid course. But that being said, I want to give a little bit of feedback here, so that is also helpful for you if you are not interested in enrolling in that or in these other things. So first of all, when it comes to this, looking at his campaign page, one of the things he did here was post a video, right? So a video is always going to be a little bit more engaging than just having text. So one of the things you could really simply do here would be to post a video like this on your GoFundMe page. This video had about 131 views. That tells me that people are interested in hearing from him, that he has good relationships with his friends and family. So likely, if he was able to post that on YouTube just alone and people who came to this page watched this video, if he has a Facebook page, it would be really great if he was able to either create a room here, a chat room, or if he did a live stream, right, of some kind. If he's maybe doing a live video to describe what it is that he is doing, why it is he's raising money, what is this going for, these kinds of things. Or he could, this is kind of new functionality, he could create a room. So this would be, you would be inviting certain people, right, who's invited in this room, and you could coordinate. It's kind of like, a group call almost, where you could coordinate them, other people who can help your project or help you share different things, right? So I gotta make sure I'm not going live there right now. So that would be two easy ways that he could start to make use of that. If his friends and family, he hasn't reached all of them, he could go and create a room. In addition, if he wasn't interested in raising more money, I can completely understand that, because if you have a certain amount that you need and you're doing that, like, it can feel a little bit guilty sometimes for you to raise more than that amount, right? At the same time, I think this is something where it's a really case-by-case basis. For some people, more money does help more. In other cases, it's not, so you could always, if you wanted to, say the extra amount that we raise that I don't need for my own personal needs, we could donate to this particular nonprofit, right? So let's just say that he ends up raising, $1,000 more than he needs. He could technically donate that money to a nonprofit organization that will help with a similar illness to the one that he undergoes, which means basically then he can continue to help out other people. I also like how within his page here, he has some really good images here. So it's really telling the story. That's one of the things that I mention a lot, is telling the story, where someone who is interested in reading more can come here. They can see exactly what it is that happened, the before and after. This is an example. I'd say like this is probably exactly what I could hope for a testimonial or a student. When it comes to their GoFundMe page. So I'm going to go all the way to read more just so you can see how extensive this is and why it's worth it to spend your time doing this. So use this as inspiration. First of all, he's telling a little bit of a story, and then he has some really engaging photos. My eyes always are going to go to the photos that he has available here. Then it says what happened, right? So what is the thing that really caused this need for him to then raise money? He describes in depth the experience as it unfolded. So the disease progressed, I steadily declined, etc. I don't want to get too much into that. This is more like the marketing angle. I'm not trying to be super sentimental here, because obviously this is a difficult thing, but this is more education. Just keep that in mind. So it goes a little bit into that problem, and then the before and after, and like where it is that he is looking to be with his recovery, why it is that he needs help. And as you can see, it's interspaced with these different images in order to break up the text. And also look at this. This is really common when it comes to Kickstarter, Indiegogo. And also one of the things I mentioned in my book is by having tangible examples of if someone gives $20, someone gives $50, it really shows, like, for example, what people can take away, right? So for $20 or more, you receive a bag of 1 dozen of the perfect chocolate chip cookies. $200 or more, prepare and serve a dinner for 2, that kind of stuff. These are just really simple examples, and here's what I need to fund. This is exactly where the money is basically going, and it makes it a lot more tangible, right? So this is a good example of a campaign, because it hits all of the major points basically that I mention in all of my work. And it's also, I think, extremely well done. You can see even some of the people that really support him. He has a very good social network. So you can see the results, I think, when it comes to the quality of this campaign. In addition, looking at the fundraising letters. So let's just take a really quick look here to take a look at this. So this is for clients, friends, and colleagues. One of the most important things is if you can send this to your first and your secondary connections. So if you're part of a church group, if you're part of a business that you have, so all of your customers, that could be a really good source. Other people that you've worked with, coworkers in the past, it's very difficult to do that. I give a lot of props to this guy, because it's very hard to put yourself out there in this way. But this is also expanding on the story and thanking people for being even a part of the relationship. Like, during the course of my career, all of you have added so much value to my life. That's a great starter, because it's really creating a little bit of rapport. It's telling the story here. It's telling the before and after. Why this is so important, this is the most important part, is underscoring that this is a significant need. Most people don't even realize that you actually need something like that. Their contribution will help your life. Most people that are scrolling through their Facebook feed, they just are reading things, they're like, oh, that sucks, man, and then they scroll on. They don't realize they can actually help make a difference from that. And it also, in this, I like this template, really shares kind of the things that he needs specifically, and what that is going towards. Now, the other one here, I believe this might be the first draft. We'll see. This is family and friends. Okay. So this is, again, a very similar kind of an ask. Obviously, if you have family and friends, they're going to be a little bit tighter knit than your colleagues and people who are previous customers or something like that, if you have a business or those things. But this is, again, telling the story, kind of setting up the context of the campaign. Again, underscoring the ask, which I mentioned is very important, and also where this is going towards. So this is all, I think, right on spot. The link here is very easy to see. The only thing he could have done, honestly, I think, to make this a little bit more standout-ish or more engaging would be if he personally included some photos in this, in the way that he did with his page. And also, if he's mailing this out to people, to write his name or to write a personal message just saying thank you so much. And when someone sees that it's a personal message, they're almost virtually guaranteed to read it, right? So if he's planning to mail this out to, let's just say, 20 people, if this takes him maybe an hour or 40 minutes just to write a very simple message like, thank you for reading this, or I really appreciate you reading this. Thank you so much. Those kinds of things. And he writes it with his own handwriting here. That would be a really great way for him to personalize this a little bit, although it is obviously a standard message. If he's just sending it via email, there's obviously not that same degree of personalization, but that is something definitely he could do with more physical mail. Aside from that, the only other thing that I would mention when it comes to ways to improve a fundraiser like this would be to consider to even skip the actual page. So let's just say you're doing a live stream, or you're doing like a room, or you're doing some kind of a promotion, and you're including a lot of the story in that already. Like, you're already including a lot of the what happened, who's already supported it. Like, people are very aware. The only other thing I would recommend, and I would only recommend this also if you already have this all set up pretty well and like it's already working, would be, rather than just linking to the GoFundMe page, you could actually just link to this, which is the donation page, right? So rather than people viewing the Facebook Live or viewing the content and then going directly to the GoFundMe page, you can just direct them to the donate page, and then you skip a step. But the only reason you're doing that is because you've already shared all that information already with a pitch, or they're very aware of your need, where it's going for, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, I would definitely recommend sending them to the GoFundMe page. This could be like a hack or a shortcut. Again, that's a bit more of an advanced tip. I would not recommend that for everyone. And finally, another thing he could do, if he is finding, he's already doing a great job, but if he's finding that he wants to raise more money and make people feel a little bit more confident about giving money, he could really underscore this GoFundMe guarantee. So this is something where it will just give people a little bit more sense of this is legit, or if it's not legit, that people can get an exclusion, can get a refund for certain reasons. So you can read through this GoFundMe guarantee. I've covered this in other sections on this channel, etc. But just in the misuse of events, basically at their discretion, they agree to reimburse the donations through the platform up to $1,000 per donor per campaign. This is a GoFundMe guarantee. There's a lot more that goes into this, so I'm not going to cover it on this particular video, but that is another thing that he could underscore to give a little bit more credibility if he's finding that people are reluctant. Other than that, awesome job. Great job, Perrier. And this is just a really great example of someone who I think put a lot of work into the campaign and it's really paying off for him. So kudos to that. The other thing that just even surprises me so much with this campaign, and I am a learner like you, I'm a marketer. There aren't necessarily that even many shares, right? Or that many donors. So what he's doing is working and converting very well. And you don't necessarily need lots of people in order to raise a bunch of money. It's really about the quality of the relationships and the quality of the individuals and helping to get a bit of the funding out of the gate. If we wanted to learn a little bit more, we could go actually into and see his donation list, right? So a lot of these are more micro donors, but then we also have some larger ones here. So you can, if you want to, you get a sense of what people will give and how many donors you need. You could get a sense of that by looking through a list just like this. So I hope that helps. Come to the YouTube channel. If you're on the YouTube channel, take a second to subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. I got to go hop on a call, but thank you so much for paying attention, and I hope that this was helpful for you.